Well, I'm sort of like to think of when I'm making art, I'm sort of just thinking of a lot of these paintings. There's no preliminary drawing or photo. It's just all from. I start off really intuitively, and the painting sort of develops in itself as I'm working through it. And I sort of like to think of myself as like processing visual culture through my own lived experience, or through internet media, social media, whatever it is. And then how do I process living in the 21st century as like a human visually? Like, how does this experience, like whether it's things I'm reading, things my personal, the political, all these things interwoven, like how does that alchemy, how does that transmit into like a visual? This is what I'm processing in real life, and then I'm putting it out there. And so that's what I'm interested in, sort of like as a sieve, kind of like processing culture, and then like redigesting it in like a real, almost preliminary, rudimentary way, oil, paint, and brushes. It's like the most kind of primitive thing, really, and how to, translate this modern 21st century experience into like the most preliminary sort of like essence of pigments and hair on a stick. I'm not an outsider. No, I went to art school. I'm a relatively educated, privileged young white man. So I'm not an outsider. But now, in hindsight of being 10 or 15 years in the art world, I do feel like an outsider from the art world. I don't feel that engaged with a lot of like the current discourse of a lot of what's being played, and as grateful and thankful as I am of being in the art world, it's nice to have a little distance from it. And really the only way to make work is you can't be that engaged with the art world, because like making this work, you have to really kind of go into your art cave for a bit, there's like, you really have to. I don't see how people can really juggle like being like jet-setting the world with the art fairs and all this, and also making art. So I have to sort of become an outsider and assume a little bit of like a distance from it, And an outsider in the sense that my work is very like, outsider art was very like democratic and accessible, and my work has that intention too. Like, my plumber can come in and fix my pipe and look and see, and it's still something he can grasp. It's not completely left field. It's not based off of Deleuze and Guattari references, or it's still my own. Again, it's still a visual vernacular that is accessible, and that's important to me. I want it to be on just an accessible level,